I am Samnala Samno from Obolo local government. I work with the council, the senior legal officer.
Yes, my name is Michael Victor. I'm the councilor representing the group of 7 on air and all my members of the government and also the leader of council.
Right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Pastor James Chuku. I'm the programs manager of Environmental Civil Rights Initiative, and I'm from Enmova, where God lives.
Good morning.
My name is Chief Constance Meju. I'm on the board of GESI. I coordinate Center for Media, Environment and Development Communication, and I publish national projects.
So the project goal is to promote inclusive electoral systems, evidence gender and social inclusion for sustainable, inclusive, transparent elections, legitimacy, and transparent governance in Nigeria. You can see those specific words that are underlined. But if we have to localize this, we can change Nigeria to River State, or you change it to your local government like Gokana or Eche or even your community. The objectives to provide basic understanding of gender and social inclusion in program design, strengthen the understanding of community leaders on gender and social inclusion and national gender policy. Advocate for the implementation of the national gender policy at the community level. So we are all here as leaders at all levels. In our communities or local government, without us bringing it to that level. And by the time we bring it to the level of local government or community, it is no longer national gender policy. It is our own gender policy. So at that level, you can give it a name that will relate to the people at the community level or local government level. So it is to look at the national gender policy and say, yes, we can adapt this, we can localize it, so that it can be implemented in our localities. That is the bottom line of what we are doing. But we need to, let me not call it training, we need to update our knowledge on gender and issues of social inclusion to really appreciate the importance of bringing down the gender policy from the national level to the local level. And the reason is that all the campaigns and advocacy for women participation in decision making, inclusive governance, if there is no document to back it up, it will be difficult to implement. That is the idea. If there is no document, we can keep talking. Even myself, if I'm in a position, I may forget to implement if there is no document to say you have to do this. That is what we are trying to say. So how do we advocate, or how do we work at the local level to put a document in place? And what role can we play to get that done in our local government and in our localities? Now, what do we understand by gender?
The reason why we need to talk about gender is that because I want to use a Nigerian example. You know, the male folk had, in the beginning, relegated women to the background. And judging from the profession that I come from, you know, they address all of us as a gentleman of the press, even though they know that we are women. So we need to talk about gender so that
that they will know that anybody can practice like my profession. So I feel that we should talk about it every time because it hasn't gotten to the villages because the men are still practicing inhuman treatment to women, shaving women's hair when their husband died, but when their wife died, nobody shaves their hair. So we need to talk about so that they will know that everybody has the right to live in a society where God has placed each of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, my organization, we look at issues from the biblical point of view. So that is the stone upon which I'm standing. The Bible is very clear that we were created male and female at par. In fact, the women should be even happy because they were the last creation where God finished every potential he has made. So the issue of I am low, I don't need it. Because today, there's no home without a woman. In fact, no man can even kill monkey without a woman. You kill a woman, just ordinary sperm, and she produces a whole human being. Give her 500 naira. By the time you go back home, she produces beautiful soup for you to eat. In fact, and so on. But why are you people panicking about? That's the point upon which I am my EP. You have to touch me now. You have to touch me to bring me down now. Don't worry to bring me down.
Pastor has said it all. He said God created male and female.
Wow.
So if God created male and female, it means that there should be no exclusion.
That's right.
It means there should be no denial.
That's right.
It means there will be no discrimination.
That's right.
Was society working fine in harmony with what God wanted? Because he said, Adam, you should not live alone.
That's right.
If society was working in that manner, there would be harmony. And women will not be.
So who is at fault? God or society?
Society now.
Wait, this is not a forum against God.
Okay.
This is a forum to put society right. From the overview and the welcome address, one word kept coming: improve,
Yes.
improve.
Yes.
Did I hear it alone?
Yeah, no, that's it.
Eh?
You're right.
So it's about improving ourselves, and that's why you have before us training on and updating. So we are here to gain more knowledge. Something is wrong. That's why we are here. Something is wrong. That's why we are talking gender. If everything was working right, we would not talk about gender.
This is very starring revelation. In 1996, during the military era, there was these political councillors in each of the local government. They call it zero party. In Gokana, where I come from, where I was one of the councillors, no woman was given a chance. In that 17 councillors, no woman was a job. And it becomes so difficult. And because of that, there was no women. We fight from day one until the 9th month, we did not succeed. Because the chairman was such a person who don't want to listen, and we were there, we don't want to listen, and no woman can intervene. So it is wrong. When there are women, there will be proper intervention, and the more fire will ought to calm down. Women are people that douse the tension when there are acrimony and high tension. Thank you.
Whatever roles we are playing, we are distinguished in it. So if a woman taking care of her family does not really stop her from getting into public affairs, but I think the discussion of gender, we must be careful about it right now because it's affecting the mentality of some women.
So the differences in the roles has caused many problems. That is why people talk about gender. Most times it's not just to talk about it in the interest of the women, but we need to look at family stability and societal stability. How is our community progressing with this gender role, by sustaining these gender roles? Should they be changed for the society to grow and progress.
Yes.
So gender roles make the society backward because women and other populations are not included in governance and development processes. Their contributions to development are not recognized. I'll just say one thing. Within the home, we cook, we wash, we do a lot of things. But men look at those roles that we play within the home. Men look at it from the business perspective and they do it outside and give 5 names and they earn income. So the contributions within the family, our contributions to taking care of the children, if you get somebody outside to take care of the children, you pay the person as a nanny. If you send your clothes outside to be washed, you pay the laundry. But you do it within the family. Free. Not that you should not do it, but it should be recognized as positive contributions. Now, what we should note is that all these statements, you could also have statements or maybe some stereotypes that you can bring up for us to argue and reflect. But all this is trying to promote inclusion, that we should not look down on any group. We should not discriminate against any group. And everything that we do, there should be that opportunity for different groups to participate.
For example, women also cut the bunches of palm trees in some villages, while in some they don't. So in some villages you allow them to cut it, in some villages they say, no, it's only men that climb palm trees, especially the one that has with rope. You know it's risky too, but some women are strong, they go there and cut it and come back.
Now I like that issue said, you know it's risky. Some of the practices is also, some of the discriminatory practices is done in the interest of the So how do we address the issues of children with disability? If an economic empowerment is planned for women and we don't have women with disability represented, how will we know how they will be impacted by the project or what their needs will be? So if they are excluded, who talks for them? At times, if you mention them, if you're meeting with chiefs and kings, if you mention them, they will say, those people, we are talking about real people and you're mentioning those people. So if you don't sensitize them, they will not understand why those people should be included. In August, either August or September, we were in Akwa in Eastern Obodo. And we went to meet the king. And in our discussions, I told the king, we work with women. Our main interest here is to sensitize the communities on community content guidelines. How do you negotiate with companies and all that? As are your women part of the process? So, apart from meeting with you, our interest is to engage with those women and build confidence and capacity on how they can be part of discussions. And the king said, there are many educated people in this community, very enlightened. Instead of you to tell me to identify them for you to educate, you are coming to talk about women. Those women, can you imagine? You said those women, very derogatory. And I said, sir, the reason they have to be included, because if they don't know, we should teach them. And I said, sir, there could be certain things you cannot achieve as a king, but those low-class women can help you to achieve them. And he was surprised how. So at times we have that mindset towards those people. And because of that mindset, government programs don't impact on those people. So government will say, despite everything we have done, community people are complaining. Because government is not addressing the needs that community people have, Government is implementing its own projects.
Organization. Abortion. Pollution.
Demonstration. Provision.
Inclusion.
Abortion. This inclusion we are talking about, it's like we are not making much noise about it. We are mostly paying some lip service, but we should try anyway, because it's something that we have been out of it for so many times. For example, I have looked at the issue of this construction in Port Harcourt, the issue of the flyovers. I don't know whether you will take your look at the number of people working there. Have you people seen any women there in the Rumola, GRA flyover, Adadot flyover, CFC flyover, Maitri flyover? And it worries me whether women should not also wear the coverall and follow them and do those things and take the 30,000 or 40,000 or 50,000. It's a concern. We should raise concern about that. Because if you look at even the purposes, it's the women that voted much. I monitor the local government election, I monitor elections, and women come out in their large numbers. But when it comes to giving job, the men also get more. Like this 5,000 job that they said is appearing in budget next year. If you people or we did not make noise, that 5,000, I don't think 500 will be given to women. And it's going to be very poor. And when they come out, can you go to offices and go and cross-check that how many women are in this place? No. It is not that we raise voice. Let government know that 5,000 job give us at least 2,000. I'm okay.
While you were taking us on this lecture, that's a very vital thing I noted here. And I'm aware that this issue is a national issue. Yes, we are talking about gender inclusion, and yet we are still making a mistake. Because several nights here you ask the question, how many disabled person is here? And I'm also aware that this issue of gender inclusion, when it sounds, it looks as if we are talking about bringing just women into the field of leadership alone. And from what you just told us today, it goes beyond that. Yes, the government of the state says in all the local governments, women should fight. Right here in the states, I'm aware that in all the 23 local governments, all the vice chairmen are women. But how many among all the vice chairmen are a disabled person? So, we still have a gap in trying to make the gender equality workable. We should also be able to come up with policies, agitations that can also get these people involved. Even as a community leader, last year we talked about giving bursary scholarship to students in tertiary institutions. And we did this. Only those who were in tertiary institution got the stipend from the community fund, 50,000 per student. Then the question was asked, what about those who are not in tertiary institution? And they also use, what happens to them? We came up with another policy to say, let's do skill acquisition. Now the skill acquisition we're talking about, we did not also include the disabled people. But yet, we are talking about skill acquisition. So I think in gender inclusion, we should be able to reason or think or plan beyond including just women, either the ladies or the mothers alone, but also considering those who don't have hands, those who cannot walk, they are also a concern in bringing them into this. So it's my other little observation. It's a task. Both the NGOs, the community leaders, the government is a gap. How we need to close this gap so that when we preach this gender inclusion, it will be real and workable. Thank you.
And this is how I want to follow up with this. So you do an action plan and give it to us before you leave. Write your name and number so we can follow up with you. On that note, I appreciate everybody for listening and for active participation. Thank you.